friends, I am Tanu. I am one of the PTE trainers at Aussie's group in Clayton, and today I am here to share with you all the tips and strategies you need to ace reorder paragraphs, which is a task from reading section, which is a very important module as well. And friends, lots and lots of our students, they do struggle in this task because they think they find it very hard to do it. But today we will be talking all the necessary strategies and tips you need to know and how to ace this particular task. So to begin with, I would say it is a part of your reading module, and it is most likely it is task number 4, which is second last task before reading and writing paragraph. Reading and writing fill in the blanks. And the weightage of the task, it's a moderate weightage task. It's not a very high weightage task. Somewhere about 5 to 7 marks comes from this task. And number of questions you can expect between 1 to 3 questions. So most likely you will be coming across 2 questions, but some students, they do get 3, and some lucky ones do get 1 as well. So friends, to begin with, introduction of reordered paragraphs, you will come across jumbled up sentences or a paragraph which is jumbled up, and we need to rearrange it and put it in the right order. How to do this task is, it requires just, the basic understanding of what is the main idea of the passage. So the first thing we need to look in all of the sentences is a sentence that represents the completeness in itself, which reflects the main idea of the passage. So the first point I would say is to look for a sentence which represents the main idea. The main idea, it can be anything, right? So all the nouns, okay, common noun, abstract noun, proper nouns, they reflect something towards the idea, the main idea of the passage, okay? And the first sentence also needs to be an independent sentence, which means it should not be dependent on any other sentence. It should not have words like he, she, it, which are pronouns. So second is your pronouns. So the first sentence would not have any of the pronouns. What are pronouns? Pronouns are he, she, it. So all the words which are depending on something. So any sentence which has got any of the pronouns would never be the first sentence. Also, there are certain other words like connectors, right? So connectors like moreover, however, therefore, these cannot be the first sentences. So the first point, I hope it's clear, that we need to find the main idea of the passage. We need to find the words which reflects towards the completeness of the passage. Next, followed by that very sentence, we need to look for transition sentences. What are transition? What is the meaning of word transition? Is we need to find the linking sentences. The way to do this task is you can underline the common words between sentences. Sometimes when you underline the common words between 2 to 3 sentences, you can easily figure out which word is connecting the other word. The third important factor is you need to know one rule. A sentence is made up of subject plus verb plus object. 3 things. Sometimes what happens is the object of the first sentence, it becomes the subject of the second sentence. But whatever words is being used here, they would not be repeated here. Most of the time, synonyms or similar words that reflects the same idea can be used here, which represents the subject of the second sentence. So this is another very important thing you should keep in your mind while you are practicing this task. Third thing is articles. So what role articles play while we are doing this task? What are articles? First of all, the articles are a and the, right? We have to look for definite and indefinite articles. And a and an, they are more general articles. The first sentence would be a general sentence and not the specific one. The following sentences would be more specific ones, which is represented with the. So if we come across a paragraph in which we need to make a choice between a and the, or an and the, most of the times it would be a and which is a more general sentence, not the more specific sentence. So you need to be very careful about the definite and indefinite articles. Another thing you should always keep in mind is you should always look for cohesion. Okay, what is the meaning of cohesion? United, you know, when few sentences are linked and united. Sometimes one sentence is incomplete, so we need to look for the part of that very sentence, which you can again do by reading the sentences thoroughly. Fourth and last important point is that sometimes some of the sentences are given in the chronological order or the time order. What I mean by chronology is that some events are happening in the past. For example, something happened in 1858, which is followed by another event which is happening in 1907, which is followed by another event which is happening 2001. So sometimes what happens is the sentences are given in a chronological order and we just need to put them in the right order. Sometimes time is given. An event is happening at 7:15, followed by something which is happening at 8 o'clock, followed by something which is happening at 9:15. So you need to be careful about all those little gray areas in order to do this task. We will have an example to see how we proceed to figure out the answers. Now, this is a sample question which we will be discussing. How to do this is a very, very easy strategy we will apply, and you can see that how easy it becomes if you keep all those little things in your mind, what we've just discussed. So if we go through the sentences, this is the same window you will see in your exam, and what you have to do is you have to drag one of the options here and put them in the right order. So if we read the jumbled up sentences, it starts with above that on floors, above that. So it is again not an independent sentence, it is referring to something, right? So it cannot be the first sentence. The first two words itself suggests that it cannot be the first sentence of the passage. The next sentence says, note the use of word qualifier estimated. Note. So that means something's being already mentioned and note is just, in context to that very thing. So it again, the first word itself suggests that it cannot be considered as a first sentence. Standing at 167 floors, the height of the building is widely estimated to be 7 or 7. So if we look at the keywords, there are few keywords like height, floors and the building. So building here is a very important word. They are talking about the building. That means a specific building. So we need to know which building is it first. So this again cannot be the first sentence. Next is a hotel occupies the bottom 37 floors of the building. Again it is talking about some sort of building which is not being mentioned in any of these sentences so far. So again it is not the independent sentence. Last sentence says one of the world's tallest structures is the Burj Dubai. So we all know that this sentence, Burj Dubai, which is a proper noun, is the most important sentence, and all the other sentences are talking about tallest structure. Right? So we can easily figure out that this is the first sentence of the passage. So all you have to do is you have to drag this sentence here as a first choice. Now, if we read one of the world's tallest, tallest is a important keyword, right, which is referring to the height, right, and structures in the Burj Dubai. So we need to find out which other sentence links with this sentence. So if we go through again, this above that, above what? Is something being mentioned in the first sentence? No. So again, we cannot put this as a pair to the first one. If we go through the other sentence which says, note the use of qualifier estimated. This sentence doesn't have the word estimated. So again, this cannot be put after that sentence, which is very easy to figure out. The third sentence which says, Standing at 167 floors, the height of the building is widely estimated to be 7 or 7 meters. Now this sentence is talking about the height. The tallest structure is again talking about the height of the sentence. So what we have to do is, we have to put this sentence after that sentence because none of these two sentences are making sense. However, we need to read the last sentence before we put this one into the right order. The last sentence says a hotel occupies. Nothing here has been mentioned about the hotel, so we cannot consider this as the linking sentence. So the only sentence which makes sense here is standing at 167 floors. Now the keywords in this sentence are 167 floors, the height of the building, estimated. And we've already read this sentence which says the qualifier estimated. That means this sentence and this sentence is a right pair. Why I'm stressing more on the right pairs is because in order to get marks, we have to write correct pairs. We have to choose correct pairs in this task. If you put the first and the last sentence in the right order, you get no marks. So in order to get marks, it is very, very important to choose the right and the correct pairs. So what we have to do is we have to put this sentence here. Now, if we read this sentence, it says the use of the qualifier estimated, the building's exact height is a tightly guarded secret. Now we need to figure out which other sentence makes sense after this sentence. So if we read the first, above that, above what is still not being mentioned here. So can we choose it as a right sentence? The next sentence? Of course not. So the only sentence which is left is this one. A hotel occupies the bottom 37 floors of the building. So it is very, very easy to figure out that this one is the next sentence and above that is the last sentence. So if you go through it, now it makes sense. Before it was not put in the right order. So all these little areas, little keywords will definitely help you to put it in a right order. Now, another thing you need to keep in your mind is the time. How much time you need to put in to do this task. You should not ideally be wasting more than 2 minutes on this task because in reading we have time restrictions. It is up to you how much time you want to spend on this very task, but it is advisable that you should not be using more than 2 minutes on this task. Now, talking about the marking strategy for this task, you get, as I mentioned before, you get marks for the right pairs. So if you have answer to something, let's say, is A, B, C, D, E, A, B, B, C, C, D and D, E is considered as a correct pair. If you've put A, C, B, A, C, D, B and E, that means A and E is in the right order, you get no marks. You get marks only for the right pairs. So make sure whenever you are doing this task, you try to form right pairs. That's about reorder paragraphs, friends. So if you have any questions, you can post it and they'll be answered shortly. And about Aussie's Clayton, I would say we are having wonderful results. Last week we had 3 students who scored a perfect score of 90. One was Sohail, congratulations Sohail. The other one was Shah and Pooja. So all of you guys, you did a wonderful job and we are very proud of you. So friends, if you are struggling to ace PTE, we would definitely recommend you to come to us. If you are thinking about PTE, Aussie's Clayton is the right place to be here. Thank you very much.